And welcome out to the ballpark at America First Square. We've got a spectacular high school baseball matchup on hand. A 6A Region 2 battle between the Bingham Miners and the Riverton Silverwolves. I'm Brian Priest, joined by Dave Harrison this afternoon. Dave, we've got a good matchup on hand. These two teams met yesterday with Riverton pulling out a 10-0 win. Tell us what we can expect this afternoon.
Well, I think we've got a nice opportunity to see Boston Hatch pitch for Riverton. He's 3-0, undefeated on the year, a 1.48 ERA, big lefty sophomore. So we're going to see a lot of heat from him. Hopefully Bingham, for their perspective, can put the bat on the ball. They've had a little bit of trouble the last 3 nights being able to hit and make contact. So we'll see if they can come out against Hatch and put the bat on the ball.
Yeah, as you said, Dave, Bingham yesterday with 3 base hits in the shutout loss. To this first pitch from Boston Hatch, we'll give you the Miners lineup. First pitch swinging is Porter Larson. Up with it is the shortstop.
Aggressive right off the bat, swing at the first pitch, and at the high school level, you'll see 2 or 3 good pitches to hit every at bat. He didn't wait for the second one.
So we'll go through the Bingham Miners lineup real quick. Of course, that was Porter Larson leading off, followed by Kane Stoker in the 2-hole, batting second and playing third base. Crew Dredge is the right fielder, batting third, as Stoker takes the pitch outside. In the cleanup spot is the catcher Dane Murphy, followed by in the 5-hole by Paxton Larson playing second base. In the 6th spot, Jackson Sissom playing center field. Another pitch, Mitch is outside. Quickly 2-0. Designated hitter in the 7-hole, Daniel Norris. In the 8th spot, Bauer Jacobs playing first base. And in the 9-hole, Noah DeVroom playing left field. And we see Boston Hatch behind in the count, 3-0.
Pretty tight strike zone. He missed a couple outside. That one looked like it caught the inside corner. And 4 straight.
So 4-pitch walk issued by Boston Hatch. That brings Crew Dredge to the plate. We mentioned yesterday these two teams hooked up. Riverton winning 10-0. Riverton pounded out 16 base hits. Interesting. Very rarely do you see that many hits and not a single extra base hit.
Yeah, they were really patient, waited for the fastball, and hit it where it was pitched. They did a good job yesterday. First curveball of the morning, I guess. It's 11 o'clock, so Hatch gets his first strike.
This game, the first of 2 this afternoon here at the ballpark at America First Square, the home of the Salt Lake Bees AAA affiliate of the Los Angeles Angels. Hatch misses low, counts 1-1 on Crew Dredge. Dredge hitting .462 this season. Waves over the top of that off-speed pitch.
Got him with a changeup, first one we've seen.
Both teams with upperclassmen focused lineups. 2 sophomores in the lineup for Riverton, 1 sophomore starting for Bingham.
Yeah, both these teams legitimate contenders for the 6A state championship this year.
Coming into this day, sitting 2-3 in Region 2. Trailing the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. Of course, Bingham, as you mentioned, Dave, coming off of 3 consecutive losses. 2 of those were to Mountain Ridge last week. But is trying to find their footing as we head into the last couple weeks of the regular season.
Really, with Bingham this year, it's a matter of getting the bat on the ball. They've got the arms and the defense. They've just got to put that ball in play.
Hatch misses inside. Good eye from Dredge. Counts now 3-2. Strike 3 swinging. The runner takes off. Stoker's going to take second base without a throw. It's now 2 outs in the frame. Brings Dane Murphy to the plate.
Murphy's had a nice season. Junior catcher, real good arm. See if he can't score this run here in this first inning.
RBI chance for Morphy. He's driven in 11 this season, hitting .296. Bounce it a short, coming in on it. Makes a strong throw. That's McCade Ortiz to retire the side. So a one-out walk. Runner stranded at second base for Bingham. We head to the bottom half of the first inning, still scoreless. Dax Bradford, the left-handed starter, making his 6th appearance of the year, comes into this game with a 6.0 earned run average. Facing McCade Ortiz, the Silverwolves shortstop first.
Gets him with the fastball up at the top of the zone.
So good start by Bradford, gets Ortiz swinging. Lined out to right field, positioned perfectly is Crew Dredge to make the catch. Defensively, left to right across the outfield, Noah DeVroom, Jackson Sissom, and Crew Dredge. Across the infield, Kane Stoker, Porter Larson at short, Paxton Larson at second, Bauer Jacobs at first, and Dane Morphy behind the plate, catching Dax Bradford. It's Gage Zulo hitting .356. Bradford's pitch catches the outside corner. Not much a hitter can do with that pitch.
No, we've got a great view. We're directly behind home plate, so we can see exactly where those balls are.
Yeah, I think on a day like today, overcast, a little breezy, a little bit chilly, the biggest benefit for us is this location right behind home plate.
Looked like a nice pitch.
It did look like a good pitch.
A little bender. It must have been a little low coming across the plate.
Counts now 2-1. Check swing, roller to first. Jacobs up with it, steps on the bag, so 2 down.
Bradford does a nice job getting the ball in on his hands. Forcing it into an easy little ground ball.
That's just a little excuse me check swing that goes against Gage Zulo. Here's Bryce Mountier. Mountier was 2 for 3 yesterday with 2 runs driven in.
Yeah, he hit the ball hard yesterday. A couple of line drives.
Mountier's got the prototype first baseman body. A little bit thicker, you can tell he's strong, he's got some good power. He's been a good hitter all year for Riverton. Bouncer back up the middle, ranges over, Porter Larson, strong throw. 3 up, 3 down. That'll end the first inning. We head to the top of the second. Riverton and Bingham still scoreless. And welcome back to the ballpark. First pitch swinging, lined into left field. That's Paxton Larson with a leadoff single for the Bingham Miners.
Good job,
brings
jumped on
Jackson
that
Sissom to the
fastball.
place.
Looked like it was just inside. So Bingham for the second inning in a row with a base runner.
And we see Bingham, they've come out aggressive with the bats in this one. Jackson Sissom at the plate. Hatch checks on the runner defensively for the Silverwolves. Cohen Allred in left field, Gage Zulo in center, Ryder Sand in right. Across the infield, left to right, Braden Gillespie at third, McCade Ortiz at short, Jager Mozingo at second. Bunt attempt rolls foul. Bryce Mountier at first, and Kempson Pack behind the plate catching Boston Hatch.
Larson was on the move there. Would have had a stolen base if he hadn't attempted the bunt. Have to get shutout, I think Bingham wants to do everything they can to manufacture some runs.
Yeah, you can see that already. Bingham with a stolen base in the first inning, and they're working to get on the scoreboard in this one. Strike two catches the outside edge. Pitchers count 0-2 on Sissom. Sissom hitting .390 this season. Senior center fielder.
That's with a nice move to first. He almost froze Larson. Larson didn't have a very big lead though, so.
Lefty checks the runner one more time. Larson back in with the head first save. The runner takes off, a pickoff. Throw down to second, in time. Mountier, good play, strong throw. Jager Mozingo applies the tag, and one down for the Miners.
Riverton does a good job using the Bingham aggression against them. Come up with an out at second base.
Yeah, that's a great play. You see Boston Hatch pick up that foot. Doesn't stride toward the plate, instead makes the throw over to first as soon as the runner takes off. Bouncer to Mountier. He bobbles it. That'll go down as an E3 error on Bryce Mountier, allowing Jackson Sissom to reach. So the first mistake made by either defense in this ball game gives Bingham another opportunity for Daniel Norris, the designated hitter.
We'll see how aggressive Bingham stays after the pickoff. But yeah, they need to take advantage of every base runner they get. This is a pitcher with an ERA under 1.5.
And Hatch here in the early going has been just pounding the strike zone. Line drive, left center field. That'll get into the gap, roll all the way to the wall. One run will score. And Daniel Norris pulls up safely into second base with a stand-up double. The Bingham Miners lead 1-0.
Really aggressive, strong swing there. He took it to the deepest part of the park. Got a double and got Bingham on the board. So just what the doctor ordered for the Miners. Take advantage of that error.
And that's the key for Bingham. You lead off this inning with a base hit. The runner is erased with a pickoff, but it doesn't let them get him down. They reach on an error and take advantage of that. That could be big. We'll see if it opens up the floodgates a little bit for Bingham. Here's Bauer Jacobs. Fouls the first pitch back.
Looks like a little change up there.
Jacobs, big right-handed hitter. Hitting .264 this season. RBI chance here. He's driven in 12.
Get him at third.
Bouncer back to the pitcher. They get the lead runner. Great play by Boston Hatch. Good awareness off the mound. Gets to that ball quickly and gets the lead runner. Probably ill-advised from Daniel Norris to take off on that play.
Yeah, it's a mistake anytime you hit a bunt attempt straight back at the pitcher. You want to pull that down or push it down one of the lines. So easy play for the pitcher.
So a fielder's choice if you're scoring at home. That goes down 1-5. Here's Noah DeVroom, takes strike one.
He's got a nice breaker.
How common is it at this level that you see a pitcher with a good breaking ball that he can command as well?
Yeah, well, there's another one. He's throwing strikes with both his fastball and his curveball. And he's thrown a changeup or two. You can see why he's one of the top pitchers in the state.
Again, checks on the runner. After that pickoff earlier in the inning, Bingham has not been quite as aggressive with their leads. As we see the runner take off, no throw down to second base. It'll be a stolen base.
Pack thought it was strike 3 and didn't even attempt to throw.
It's now 2 Bingham stolen bases without a throw. Counts 2-2 on DeVroom. DeVroom, the 9-hole hitter for Bingham. If he can reach, it'll turn the lineup over for Porter Larson. Fouled out of play. Of course, if you're watching from home, Kids Day here at the ballpark. A bunch of elementary schools around the Salt Lake Valley bust in for this high school extravaganza. And it is loud and a little bit screamy, Dave.
You know, the volume level of children is a little different than adults.
A ball lined into left field, could be an RBI. Jacobs gets the go sign. He'll slide in safely. 2-0 Bingham.
DeVroom in the 9th spot with a big 2-out knock. Brings in another run for the Miners.
See DeVroom going with that ball into left field. Good read by Bauer Jacobs going on off of contact. Throw offline allows Jacobs to score. And now we'll have a meeting at the mound. What is this conversation like? It's early in the ball game. You've given up a couple of hard hit balls. Is this just trying to calm your pitcher down? What is this?
I think he's probably I think that's the 3rd time the very first fastball has been hit. And so he's probably going out there telling him, look, they're going to be aggressive with you. Maybe come in with a breaking ball, outside, inside. Just don't put it right down the middle of the plate on the first pitch. And like you said, just settle down. It's early. There's nothing hurt. And, you know, yesterday, Bingham's making similar swings, but the ball's going right to the defender. And so, you know, it kind of goes both ways. Sometimes they fall, sometimes they don't.
I mean, and that's just baseball sometimes. You know, you put the ball in play, you hope it goes to the right spot, but sometimes you're just unlucky. As Porter Larson looks at ball 1.
Yeah, Hatch just needs to trust his stuff. He's got a nice breaking ball he can throw for a strike. He's just going to have confidence in that pitch.
2-0 count for the Bingham leadoff hitter, Porter Larson. Grounded out to shortstop on the first pitch he saw today. Noah DeVroom down at first base. Larson looks at ball 3. You're Boston Hatch right now. You've been struggling, getting hit around a little bit in this inning. That was going to be my question. Do you just fire one straight down the middle, or?
Yeah, 3-0, you anticipate they're taking that. So you've got to get the strike.
And on 3-1, he tries to be a little bit more cautious, misses the corner. So a 2-out walk, runners at first and second for the Miners. Here comes Kane Stoker. Stoker walked in his first plate appearance. Pitch in the dirt, catcher can't find it. And the runners advance. He still doesn't know where it is. It is right in front of the plate. Like that was Kempson Pack. I think he was blocked by Kane Stoker. He couldn't see the ball. It was 8 inches from home plate. The runners both advanced 90 feet.
I think it must have hit the umpire in the shin pad, and he thought it went to the backstop.
Stoker checks his swing. Counts 2-0.
Interesting to see how Hatch responds to some adversity. He hasn't seen a whole lot of it this year. He's been pretty dominant.
A beautiful base hit by Kane Stoker through a hole on the right side. That'll score 2. Bingham has broken this game wide open. It's 4-0. See the Miners over and over, not trying to do too much. Stoker just pokes that ball out into right field. 2 runs scored easily.
Really good job staying with an inside-out swing. Let that ball travel deep and hit it into the hole between the first and second baseman. And with 2 outs, of course, the runners are going on contact.
Now the left-handed hitting Crew Dredge.
Hatch just needs to find the strike zone again.
Yeah, a lot of times you see it just takes a little reset. You know, in his case, is it going to be just recording that 1 out so he can get a chance to sit in the dugout and kind of collect his thoughts a little bit?
And hats off to the Miners. They're aggressive, swinging good pitches, and hitting the ball hard today. They needed it after the last few games.
As we mentioned off the top, Bingham trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Well on their way right now with 4 second-inning runs. Dredge takes the strike, now 3-1.
We'll see if the runner's going.
And Hatch misses high once again. That's the second base on balls off of this inning. Runners at first and second for Dane Morphy. That might be the end of the day. It is for Boston Hatch. So a rough outing for Boston Hatch. He leads the game after an inning and 2/3, 2 runners on. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with the numbers for the new Riverton pitcher. And welcome back to Smith's Ballpark. New pitcher in for the Riverton Silverwolves, number 31, Noah Pesley, taking over, relieving Boston Hatch after a rough inning and 2/3. Got 2 runners on for the Miners, 2 down, and the first pitch gets by Kamson Peck all the way to the backstop. Both runners advance, now 2 in scoring position for Dane Morphy. If you're Noah Pesley, that's the last thing you wanted on your first pitch.
Yeah, you don't want to put him on second and third. Turns a base hit into 2 runs. So let's see if he can settle down.
If you're a coach, what's the mindset that you want from a pitcher as he comes into a dirty inning like
Throw
this?
strikes.
Just throw strikes.
Get in here, throw strikes, let your guys make a play in the infield or the outfield, but don't give them free, you don't want to give them a free base.
Don't beat yourself.
Right.
Pitch fouled back and out of play.
The excitement from the crowd of elementary school kids at a foul ball is remarkable.
Oh, every single ball, every single ping, the kids just go wild. You would think if you just listened to the crowd, there's 17 home runs already.
Yeah.
Counts 2-1. Good pitch by Pesley. Gets Morphy to go fishing.
Throw that one again. Morphy didn't see that pitch very well out of the hand.
So 2-2 count. Riverton 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. They've given up 4 runs. The Miners, after getting shut out yesterday, have broken through in a big way.
Same pitch.
And he goes right back to the well. And Noah Pesley gets the strikeout that'll end the top half of the second inning, but not before Bingham scores 4 runs. You're listening to high school baseball on KSLSports.com. And welcome back to the ballpark at America First Square. Region 2 6A matchup. The Bingham Miners leading the Riverton Silverwolves 4-0. Leading off here in the bottom of the second inning for the Silverwolves, it's the senior cleanup hitter, left fielder Cohen Allred. Allred takes strike one.
Allred, probably the best hitter for the Silverwolves, leads them in home runs and doubles.
Bouncer to short, hard hit ball gets by his diving Porter Larson. So it's a leadoff single for Cohen Allred, brings Rocky Downs to the plate.
Bradford's approach has been really good. He's still throwing strikes. He had a great first inning. He needs to put a 0 on the board for Bingham. He needs to come out, keep throwing strikes, keep Riverton off the board, and maintain some momentum.
Left-handed hitty, Rocking Downs. Bradford misses outside, but that's one of those things, it's a common refrain in baseball. If your team has a big inning offensively, that next half inning, it's so critical as a pitcher to shut them down and maintain that momentum.
Yeah, it's always a big deal coming out after a big inning. And so far, throwing strikes, well,
and even though he's behind 2-0 right now, when he has missed the strike zone, he's not missing big. As a hitter, you still have to be honest. You can't see that pitch out of his hand and know, that's out of the zone.
Sometimes you'll see a little difference in accuracy at this level when a guy goes into his stretch as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first base runner Bingham's had, or Riverton's had.
Rocky Downs squares around, fouls that bunt attempt back. Counts now 2-2. Following Downs, it'll be Ryder Sands and Braden Gillespie.
Riverton had a really cool suicide squeeze play yesterday in the second inning. They were up 1-0, and Rudder takes off. He's halfway home by the time the pitch gets there. He lays the bunt down. It barely got to the grass, but it was just enough for him to get the run. So we know Riverton's aggressive once they've got somebody on base.
That pitch misses outside. Three-two count. Here's the payoff pitch. Strike three swinging. Downs is retired. It's the second strikeout of the afternoon for Dax Bradford. Brings Ryder Sand to the plate.
Rocky Downs was the pitcher yesterday for Riverton. Shut Bingham down. Had a nice outing.
So now one down here in the bottom of the second inning. Bradford checks the runner, throws over. Ryder Sand hitting .367 this year. He's driven in 13. One of just two sophomores in the starting lineup for Riverton.
Ryder, a couple of hits yesterday, a line drive into center and a line drive into left.
Yeah, Ryder finished the day 4 for 4, drove in 3 and scored a run. And the pitch. Fouled into the netting down the first base side. This has got to be a fun experience for these teams. Coming out here to the ballpark, probably a bigger crowd than they're going to play in front of all season long. You're playing on the minor league field where the pros play. I mean, it's just a thrill to be in that dugout, right?
Oh, for sure. They'll be talking about this for the rest of their lives. As long as they're bringing kids to baseball games, they'll tell them about this. I know I bored my children to death with stories of playing at Old Turks Field. So, yeah, this is a big deal.
And that's kind of the thrill with this high school baseball series. There were a couple of games here last year, the first season of the Ballpark at America First Square. And the Bees are working with the high school sports community, trying to make this a regular thing. And we'll have another doubleheader on Thursday. Hot shot down to third. He can't handle it. Kane Stoker bobbles it. Everybody's going to be safe. So that should go down as an E5, allowing Ryder Sand to reach. Bringing Braden Gillespie to the plate.
It's kind of short hopped him, looked like it handcuffed him, and it just slipped through. And now we'll see if Riverton can take advantage of the error like Bingham did in that second inning.
Riverton with a runner in scoring position for the first time. Gillespie hitting .265. He's driven in 10.
Now they're throwing things out to the crowd. Looks like a feeding frenzy. It's like
free stuff.
It's like the stripers at Lake Powell.
Looks like it might be wristbands.
Yeah, what a great experience it's got to be for these kids to be able to play here, and for the parents to come and watch their kid here. And
I think that one can get lost a little bit. The thrill for a parent to see their child playing on this field, excelling on this field. You know, the Salt Lake Bees have been such a huge part of this Salt Lake and Utah community since 1993. You see what baseball means to Salt Lake and Utah in general when you get to play games like this. Counts 1-2. And Braden Gillespie checks the runner at second. Bradford delivers. Off-speed pitch. Gets Gillespie swinging.
That was a nice pitch there to get the strikeout. Started it outside of the zone. Came back across the outside part of the plate, and you got a swing and miss.
Yeah, there was just nothing Gillespie could do with that pitch. He was geared up for the fastball. Now that brings Jager Mozingo to the plate.
See if Bradford can get out of this.
First pitch swinging, looper to right. Catch is made by Crew Dredge. That'll end the inning. So Bingham keeps Riverton off of the scoreboard. We head to the top of the third. Miners leading 4-0. You're watching high school baseball on KSLSports.com. And welcome back. Brian Priest, Dave Harrison with you as the Bingham Miners lead Riverton 4-0. We head to the top of the third inning. Leading off for the Miners, it's the second baseman, a junior, Paxton Larson. Larson hitting .274, leading off for his second consecutive inning. Single to start the second. Ended up being erased at second base before the Miners scored 4 runs to take this early lead.
He's seeing a different pitcher this time around.
See how Pesley looks now that he's got no runners on base to contend with.
Well, and he did a nice job getting out of that inning without giving up any more runs. He throws hard, too. He comes hard over the top.
And it can be such a difficult task coming in during the dirty inning like that, trying to shut things down. You've got your other pitchers' numbers on your back. We see Pesley with the strikeout.
Not only is it tough just to come into a game like that, but it's 11 o'clock in the morning and it's cold. And these kids aren't used to playing baseball at this time of the day.
The rhythm, the routine is completely off. Yeah, you'll hear about that like in the NBA when they play on Martin Luther King Day at 11 a.m. and stuff. But you don't often get that at the high school level, for sure. I mean, even the games we've called earlier this season here at the ballpark have been afternoon starts.
Yeah.
And this 11 a.m. today, 11 a.m. on Thursday as well.
Oh, Besley's dealing. Those are 3 really good pitches in a row. He just missed that one low.
Yeah, Pesley feels good. He's working quickly. Jackson Sissom at the plate. 1-2 pitch. Fouls it back. Just able to get a piece of that Pesley fastball. Sissom. Apologies. Jackson Sissom. Sissom reached on an error in his first plate appearance, came around to score in the second inning. It was a Bryce Mountier error that got things started for the Miners. Two and 2 count. And he ties Sissom up inside for another strikeout.
Started that curveball right at his shoulder, and it dropped right inside. He couldn't get the bat head around in time. Beautiful pitch there to finish him off.
Yeah, that was beautiful. You could tell Sissom was looking for something out over the plate and just got completely handcuffed by that off-speed pitch.
Again, he starts off with the first pitch strike.
This is Daniel Norris hitting .414. Popped high, shallow center field, coming in on it. Making the catch, Gage Zulo. That'll retire the side. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Riverton trails Bingham 4-0. And welcome back to South Jordan, Utah, where the Bingham Miners lead the Riverton Silverwolves 4-0. You're watching high school baseball on KSLSports.com. Leading off here in the bottom of the 3rd for the Silverwolves, it's the catcher, a sophomore, Kempson Pack. Pack is hitting .306 this season. He'll face Dax Bradford. Bradford's looked sharp through 2 frames. He's given up just 1 hit. Misses outside with ball 1. Takes a wave at that pitch. Strike 1.
Bradford works fast as well. I like that. Both these teams' pitchers get up and get the ball out.
Especially on a cold day like today, I'm sure their defenses appreciate it.
Yeah.
Here's the 2-1. Goes with the off-speed, misses high. Hitters count for the Silverwolves, 9-hole hitter. Fouls it out of play. Somebody needs to talk to Kempson about keeping that ball in the park for these fans. A foul ball, it would be mayhem. Oh, here they go. Getting loud. The payoff pitch. Strike 3 looking, and backwards K from Dax Bradford. Kempson Pack is retired. We go back to the top of the Silverwolves lineup, McCade Ortiz.
Other than a little traffic in that second inning, he's done a good job of keeping Riverton off the bases.
Two lefty starting pitchers in today's game. Bradford for the Miners. It was Boston Hatch for Riverton. Bradford has fared a little bit better. Hatch lasted just an inning and 2/3, gave up all 4 runs. Of course, not all of that Hatch's fault. There was an error involved that really opened the floodgates for the Miners to score those 4 runs in the second inning. Here's the 1-1. Misses outside.
Yeah, Bingham did a nice job in that second inning. They were really aggressive and went after that first pitch fastball, and were able to put up 4 runs that inning. And
I feel like that aggressiveness has been the difference so far. Bingham really coming out, swinging, being aggressive after the first pitch, and Riverton has been willing to sit back and see a lot of pitches as McCade Ortiz turns on that ball, hits about halfway up the left field wall underneath the Cache Valley Electric sign. He's motoring into third, safe underneath the tag. McCade Ortiz with a 1-out triple. Riverton's in business.
they turned on a fastball, just about got it out of the park. 345 down the line, hit it up on the wall, and Ortiz with a nice swing gives some life to Riverton, and the crowd went nuts. Wow.
Yeah, Ortiz just misses that ball. Easily the best hit baseball today.
Yeah, most days that goes out. I think the wind kept that in.
And then Bradford hits Zulo with the next pitch. So from 1 out, nobody on, to runners at the corners and 1 down. And now Bradford's going to have a word with his coach. Just trying to slow things down. The game sped up on him.
Well, 2 pitches, the fastball that Ortiz turned on and the curveball that ended up hitting the batter. And so Stoker's going to go out, talk to him, calm him down, let him know, look, things are okay. They're also probably talking about the fact that you've got a first and third with less than 2 outs. There's a lot of different things that you can put on. When I played, we had 7 different plays when you had first and third. So we'll see if Riverton stays aggressive like they have, like they were yesterday and they have been all year. Coach Tryout likes to run his guys, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, one thing I always look for, especially at the high school level with runners at the corners, do you get the runner in motion at first and wait for the throw and then take off from third and try and score? There's a lot of, as you said, 7 different plays that you used. But right now, it's a big spot for Dax Bradford. He's facing Bryce Mountier, followed by Cohen Allred, the 3 and 4 hitters for Riverton. Mountier trying to get something back after his error earlier in the ballgame. Fouls a pitch straight back, evens the count 1-1.
Mountier hit the ball hard yesterday. As long as you can stay out of a double play, you get that ball in play.
Mountier's been a monster this year. He's hitting 450s, driven in 21. Check on the runner at first, back in safely is Gage Zulo.
Sometimes you'll do that. You'll throw over to first base to see how far that runner comes off of third, so that then you can get a play on after that. Or you fake the throw to first and come back to third.
Another check on the runner. Good play by Bauer Jacobs at first to keep the ball in front of him.
Yeah, that about got away from him.
Bingham defensively playing normal infield depth the rest of the way, holding the runner at first though. Line drive, that'll be a base hit, gets into the gap. Extra bases for Bryce Mountier. The run scored, Riverton's on the scoreboard, it's 4-1.
Really nice swing there. He stayed inside on that fastball, put it in the gap. Bingham does a good job of getting the ball in quick and keeping the second runner from scoring. Well, that's a big run.
Yeah, it's a really good job by Bingham defensively to keep that second run off of the scoreboard, holding Gage Zulo to third base. But now 2 in scoring position for Cohen Allred. gets hit. So that'll load the bases for Rocky Downs. Just a nightmare series of events here for Dax Bradford. He had one down, gives up the hard hit triple to McCade Ortiz. Walked Gage Zulo, and then the double from Bryce Mountier. Follows it up with a hit by pitch to load the bases. Rocky Downs, 0-for-1 this afternoon, struck out in his first at-bat. Lefty-lefty matchup. Strike one from Bradford.
Starts him off with a curveball.
Gets the sign from his catcher, Dane Morphy. And the pitch.
Oh, they did it
Tries
again.
to get the bunt down. And the throw skips away. Another run will score. Mountier comes around, slides into home. It's 4-3.
I love that. Coach Graya, he's aggressive. They did this yesterday. They put a bunt down. They had suicide squeed yesterday, and they got another one down today.
You see Kane Stoker, the Bingham third baseman, coming in. Had a good play on that ball. Makes the throw. It was low. Bauer Jacobs not able to dig it out. The ball gets loose, and Mountier capitalizes, scoring all the way from second base on a ball that doesn't leave the infield.
Yeah, they need to make that play at first base. Jacobs would be the first to tell you that he's got to make that.
The runners take off. Throw goes down to second base. And they nail Rocky Downs. Cohen Allred advances to third, now 2 down.
Interesting decision there by Morphy. He decides to throw him out at second base and give up third to make sure he gets the out. So typically you're going to go to third base because it's a shorter throw.
Either way, Bingham able to take advantage and get an out on the base paths. So Dax Bradford, he's given up 3 in the inning. Here's Ryder Sands. Pitch misses outside. Counts 1-2 on Sands.
Ryder's been swinging a good bat as well of late.
Tries to get the head of bat on that ball, bounces it down to third. Strong throw, good dig out by Bauer Jacobs. So that'll retire the side. Riverton strikes. They score 3 runs. We head to the top of the 4th inning. Bingham leads 4-3. Back here at the ballpark at America First Square, the Bingham Miners 4, the Riverton Silverwolves 3. We head to the top of the 4th inning. Leading off for Bingham, it's the 8-hole hitter, the first baseman, Bauer Jacobs. Jacobs reached on a fielder's choice in his first plate appearance, swings to the first pitch, lifts it near foul territory, and the catch is made. Good grab, Bryce Mountier, not easy. These players rarely are dealing with anything but a chain link fence in foul territory. That's a tough ball to play.
Yeah, an entirely different situation here. And on top of that, you've got these buildings that as soon as the ball gets above them, that wind really affected it. You could see it looked like early it was going all the way out in the right field. But good play.
It was interesting because you had Mountier. He was the only one that was going to be able to make that catch. Nobody else was going to be able to get there. Tries to lay down the bunt, rolls foul onto Vroom. Counts 0-2.
Pesley's still dealing. He's coming out throwing strikes, throwing hard, throwing fast, and like we talked about before, he's working really quick.
Yeah, Pesley absolutely pounding the strike zone. He's retired 5 batters, 3 strikeouts, and a couple of first pitch flyouts. So there's Noah DeVroom at the plate. Hard hit ball to second base. Paxton Larson knocks it down. Gets back to it, makes the throw to retire DeVroom.
Nice play by Larson. Just kept it in front of him, took it off the chest.
It's exactly how you're taught. Get down. If you have to wear it, wear it. The nice thing is, on a field like this, you're not going to get a bad hop. There's no pebble.
No. Yeah, this is a beautiful field. I'm sure it's awesome to play on.
2025 Minor League Groundskeeper of the Year, Brian Sukup, is who we have to thank for that. Spectacular grounds crew work here at Smith's Ballpark. And again, that's another thrill for these kids. Normally they're used to taking care of their own field. They got to take care of it after the game, get it ready before the game. Today, just go play ball.
Yeah, nobody's going to have to go drag the field after they're done.
Porter Larson at the plate. Peasley misses outside. Larson nothing for 1. He drew a walk and scored in the second inning.
You know, I wonder if they're going to put a red facade on this building out past right field here at the ballpark. Like they've got at Camden Yards in Baltimore.
Line drive left field and a misread. That ball gets over the left fielder's head all the way to the wall. Chugging into third base, just beating the throw. That's Porter Larson. That'll be a triple, but it's a misread off the bat. Cohen Allred took a couple of steps in on that ball. By the time he realized it was over his head and there was nothing he could do.
Yeah, he nuked that one. It was a BB right over his head. It got to the fence quick. I know we don't have exit velocity, but I'll bet it was 100 plus.
And I don't know if it got more than 20 feet off the ground at any point. Just a missile. Here's Kane Stoker, RBI chance. Stoker is 1 for 1. He's reached twice with a walk. First spot of trouble for Noah Peasley. Fly ball center field coming in, making the catch. It's Gage Zulo. So a 2-out triple, no harm done. As we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, Riverton trailing Bingham 4-3. Brian Priest, Dave Harrison with you out here at the ballpark at America First Square. The Bingham Miners lead the Riverton Silverwolves 4-3 as you're watching UHSAA baseball on KSLSports.com. Leading off here in the bottom of the 4th inning for Riverton, it's Braden Gillespie. Gillespie nothing for 1 today. He struck out back in the 2nd inning. Still on the bump, Dax Bradford.
Stone a nice game. I know he gave up 3 in that last inning, but for the most part, he's thrown a lot of strikes and got a lot of outs.
Popped into foul territory right in front of the Bingham bench, and Jacobs cannot make the plays, kicking himself. That's a free out. And instead, Gillespie has new life.
Just kind of lost concentration there. You can't afford to do that.
Well, and you brought it up during our last break. We talked about the fly ball in left field that had been misread, and wonder, in the skies at this type of gray, it could be difficult to see balls off of the bat as you're looking up into the sky, especially a pop-up like that one. You're trying to figure out where the railing is. It's not as easy of a play as it looks like. Fouled straight back, out of play. Counts 0-2 on the Silverwolves leadoff hitter. Gillespie hitting .265. Hard hit ball down the third baseline, past a diving Kane Stoker. A leadoff single for the Silverwolves.
He's got his bat through zone, pulled that nicely down the line.
Number 3,
I think that's the first time that Riverton's got the leadoff hitter on.
So with one on and nobody down, here's Jager Mozingo. One of 2 sophomores in the lineup for the Silverwolves. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it back. Looks like he was given that about everything he has, almost came out of his shoes on that swing.
Yeah, he put a good swing on that. He didn't miss it by much. Anytime that ball comes straight back on a foul ball, you know he timed it upright.
Checks on the runner, back in safely with a head-first slide is Gillespie. Following Mozingo, it'll be Kempson Pack and McCade Ortiz. Riverton trailing by 1.
Bradford forgot to go into the stretch. He almost started a full windup and realized he had a runner.
Snap throw down to first. Back in safely is Gillespie.
Dane Morphy's got a nice arm behind the plate for Bingham. Had a nice caught stealing yesterday. Threw somebody out at second.
Check at the runner and the pitch. Hard hit to short. They get the lead runner. He's safe at first.
Well, that was a close call. It looked like he beat the throw. He was off. It looked like he was trying to steal the base. Either way, the call stands.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think if we had a replay review, that call may get changed. Looked like the runner, Gillespie, beat the throw into second base, but with the out ruling, these umpires are going to come together. They'll have a little conference, discuss what they saw.
Talking with Coach Cry about it, and Coach Cry probably saw the same thing that we did, but it looked like he got there on time.
It was a feet-first slide by Braden Gillespie. And it looks like Coach Cry got the explanation he's looking for.
Porter Larson made a nice play getting to that ground ball and got it out quickly. So he made a nice play. I just think that may have been a beneficiary there of the call.
I mean, that's how it goes in this sport sometimes. And the way some of the rule changes are being made, especially at the higher levels of the game, slightly larger bases, pitch clock, and different things that they're trying to do to speed up the game, increase the amount of times that you have the ball in play. You get that action on the field, and with the action always comes those close plays.
Well, in baseball, the dimensions make it so that everything is just really quick. You know, it's always bang, bang. There's not a lot of time, typically.
Here's Kempson Pack at the plate.
Uh-oh.
The throw gets away, bounces down the right field line. Digging for 2. Jager Mozingo gets 2 bases on that throwing error from the pitcher. So Jager advances on the E1. Now Riverton, the tying run, is 90 feet away with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Radford needs to forget about that. He's got to get an out right here.
Yeah, right now, Mozingo can't do any harm to Bingham. You've got to focus on the batter at the plate. You got to get Kempson Pack. It was a strike 1.
Look, we've seen Coach Kaya score runners twice now from third on a bunt. I wouldn't be surprised if he did it again.
Strike 2, swinging, misses.
Yeah, not going to happen now.
That's tough with 2 strikes. With almost every batter is going to eliminate the bunt. Squibber down to third. Stoker, 2 down.
Nice play there by Coast. Stoker checked the runner before he went to first, and then a nice strong throw. So Bradford, despite giving up a couple of hits and the throwing there, might be able to get out of this without giving up a run.
Bradford's worked around a fair amount of traffic the last couple of innings. Riverton still trying to get back into this ball game after falling behind 4-0 in the second inning. Hard hit, third, backhanded by Kane Stoker. The throw, the tag not applied. The runner is safe.
Now, he didn't go outside of the line on his follow-through, passing first base. He dove and slid over the bag into the field of play. It looked to me like he made the tag when he went by.
Yeah, that is interesting. The throw across the diamond from Kane Stoker draws Bauer Jacobs off of the bag. But as you said, it didn't take him out of the baseline. It looked like he was able to apply the tag, but even if he wasn't, I would imagine that McCade Ortiz, in the way that he dove out of the baseline, should rule him out on that play, as the umpires, all 3 of them, come together on this play. Some dissension here at the ballpark in the 4th inning. So a long conversation by these 3 umpires. And the call at first, they are going to rule McCade Ortiz out on that play. That'll end the inning. So Dax Bradford able to get out of it after a runner reached third on that throwing error. Riverton doesn't score. We head to the 5th. Bingham leading 4-3. And back out here at the ballpark at America First Square, we've got a great one for you. The Bingham Miners 4, the Riverton Silverwolves 3, as we head to the top half of the 5th inning. Riverton scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd. Bingham scored 4 runs in the top half of the 2nd, accounting for all the runs in today's game. Noah Peasley facing the leadoff hitter, 3-hole hitter Crew Dredge for Bingham. Dredge 0-for-1 with a walk today. Dave, what did you see from Dax Bradford in that last half inning? Is he able to work around the runner at third?
Well, you know, he stays in the zone, and you know, he got a couple of ground balls there at the end, especially that last play, kept it in the park. You can tell he's a senior. He's confident, he's mature out there. He knows his job to throw strikes, and he stayed composed. And I think that, you know, that comes as you age as a player.
It's going to be a leadoff single through the hole on the right side for Crew Dredge, past a diving Bryce Mountier. Yeah, as you were saying with Dax, one thing that stood out to me is even after that 2-base throwing error, he didn't seem to get rattled.
Yeah.
You know, he really just kind of, he dug deep, and he was able to retire the next 2 batters that he faces and get out of that inning. And that's what you need from your senior leadership. As that's going to be the end of the day for Noah Peasley. We'll have the 3rd pitcher of the afternoon for the Riverton Silverwolves. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with the numbers for the new Riverton pitcher. It's a beautiful day in South Jordan as the sun starts to come out. Pitching change for Riverton, taking over on the mound, relieving Noah Pesley is McCade Ortiz. Ortiz started the game at short, comes into pitch. Jager Mozingo moves over to shortstop, and Caleb Garcia comes in to play second base. A bunt is laid down. The first pitch out is The runner is retired at first and then trying to stretch that play and get to third base. The runner is thrown out, so it'll be a double play. An ill-advised effort on the base paths by Bingham.
Yeah, Dredge had the head start, and when he saw the ground ball hit, or the bunt put down, fielded, goes to first, he thought he could get to third base, and he wasn't able to do that.
And that's a play where if you're crew Dredge, it is your responsibility. You need to know better, but you also need to be picking up your base coach, as that ball's ripped just foul down the third baseline. But as soon as you come around second base, you need to be picking up your base coach.
Yeah.
And he needs to be telling you what to do.
Sit or stop. And I didn't see what the coach's signal was, but Gillespie fielded the bunt. And so I would imagine Dredge is thinking, third baseman came, fielded the bunt, there's nobody on the bag, I'm going. And Gillespie did a nice job, got back to the bag.
Paxton Larson at the plate. Larson 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. Where's that pitch? Seen a fair amount of hit by pitches today. Send Larson to first. Jackson Sysom now.
Center field, number 4, Jackson Sysom.
See if Ortiz can settle down, getting a little bit of a rhythm here.
Sysom has looked good at the plate, right-handed hitter. Check on the runner at first. Back in safely is Paxton Larson. Sysom began the day hitting .390. Bingham would love to get some insurance production here.
Yeah, halfway through up by 1 run. It's way better than where they were yesterday, but they sure would like to get something out of this inning.
Ortiz comes set. The pitch misses inside. One and one count, 2 down, top of the 5th inning. Hit hard, but out in front.
Just got out in front of the curveball a little bit there. Seen a couple of fastballs.
It appears Sysom has seen the ball well. Quick turn, throw to first, back in safely. Another throw to first.
It's a pretty quick move there by Ortiz, and I don't know if he got a signal from the catcher to go back over there, which a lot of times you'll see they'll drop their glove
drop.
But he almost caught him bouncing the wrong way.
And another check. That's 3 in a row.
You know, Hatch got the pick off for the first inning, doing the same thing. He went over there 3 times in a row, and you don't see that anymore in the big leagues. Obviously, it can only disengage twice, but.
And another check.
I think they know he's going. Somebody saw the sign. They know he's going.
If this was a big league ballpark, you're going to have people booing right now after all these checks. But the kids, they love it. Eat it up. There goes the runner. Check down to first. There's a strike. That'll retire the side. So McCade Ortiz gets the job done. Bottom of the 5th inning at the ballpark at America First Square. You're watching UHSAA Baseball on KSLSports.com. Leading off for the Riverton Silverwolves here in the bottom of the 5th. It's the 2-hole hitter, center fielder Gage Zulo. Zulo walked and scored back in the third inning, one of 3 Riverton runs in this ball game. They trail by a single run. Trying to get back into this one. They beat Bingham 10-0 yesterday. The Miners trying to return the favor in the middle game of a 3-game set. Of course, they'll face each other one more time this week, tomorrow afternoon, but I don't know if anything holds quite the panache as playing here at the ballpark.
Now, I know these kids were looking forward to it. I talked to some of the Bingham coaching staff, and they said the kids were definitely excited to play out here and appreciated the opportunity.
Zulo takes strike one. As a former coach, is there an element when you have an opportunity like this where you got to talk to your team and make sure that they go into it calm? Sometimes you can get almost too hyped to play in a ballpark like this.
Yeah, I think typically you'll see early in a game there'll be a little bit of nerves and excitement, maybe a little bit more adrenaline, but it's just baseball, and I think you settle into it pretty quickly.
Zulo, ground ball right in front of the plate. Good throw by Morphy to retire the leadoff hitter.
I think it was a drop, third strikeout.
Brings Bryce Mountier to the plate.
Riverton really did a good job in that last half inning getting out of trouble. You know, that double play on the...
Mountier swings to the first pitch. That'll be a single.
But to turn a double play on what was supposed to be a sacrifice bunt really helped them out. And we'll see if there's a little bit of momentum that they can carry into this half inning and get some... put a couple of hits together.
Well, there's times in this game where, you know, a mistake that you make might put you behind the 8 ball, and then there's other times where your opponent gives you an opportunity. They make a mistake, and it's a matter of can you take advantage of it. And you saw Bryce Mountier, heads up play, records the out at first, and then makes that quick throw back across the diamond. Defensively, it was also Braden Gillespie who makes the original throw on the play over to first and then is able to get back to the bag. As you were describing, the base runner likely saw the third baseman make the play and figured that bag's open.
Yeah, really heads-up defense by Riverton.
Here's Cohen Allred, started the day hitting .333. Snap throw to first, back in safely. It's a speed-up runner out at first base, running for Bryce Mountier. I'll give you the name as soon as I see a number. I believe that is number 18.
Darren Dellinger.
So running for Bryce Mountier is Dellinger. That speed-up rule in the high school game. If a batter gets hit by a pitch, can come out of the game. The first baseman, the catcher, can also come out if they're on base. And that's really just in an effort to speed up things between half innings, not so much on the field. You know, instead of the catcher being on second base when the inning ends and having to put all his gear on, he can be ready to go. Counts 2-0.
Some coaches use that to an advantage for sure. They'll put in a pretty quick base runner, you know, in place of maybe a catcher who doesn't run as well.
Just an example of another small element of strategy at the high school level you don't see in college. Bradford's pitch misses outside. Rocky Downs coming to the plate. Runners at first and second. Downs hitting .371.
Feels like a a big at-bat right here for Riverton. Really, for both teams. If Bingham can get to 2 outs here and retire Rocky Downs, who's a fantastic hitter, yeah, this is a big point.
Strike swinging outside. Counts 0-2. Quick correction to tell you about taking over on the mound now for Bingham. This is Daniel Norris relieving Dax Bradford. So the designated hitter, Daniel Norris, now on the mound, right-handed pitcher. Comes into today with a 3.39 ERA. Pitch fouled into the stands. And watch the children scatter. There are 45 children chasing after one baseball right now.
The mascots probably appreciates the relief.
We were talking between innings with all these elementary schools out here. Bumble has made an appearance. Bumble was walking along the center field wall and he looked like the Pied Piper.
He's sworn by little kids.
I guess you know what you're getting into when you sign up to be a mascot. 1-2 misses outside. Oh. Throw down to second base. Almost gets the runner. That throw just a tiny bit offline.
Like we talked about before, Morphy's got a nice arm.
Here's the 2-2 to Downs. Again, fouled out of play. Good battle between Downs and Norris. Downs has reached once today. Struck out in his first at-bat.
Downs a fantastic pitcher. He got the win yesterday at Bingham.
I think that's probably my favorite thing about high school baseball is the versatility of so many guys. He's your shortstop today. Tomorrow he's your starting pitcher. Friday he's going to be your best hitter. It's the payoff pitch, misses high. That'll load the bases. The Silverwolves threatening, down by 1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Back-to-back walks issued by Daniel Norris brings Ryder Sand to the plate. Sand was the hero yesterday. He went 4 for 4. Drove in 3 runs. Before Sand will hit, we're going to have a conversation with the entire Miners infield. Riverton trying to get back into this ball game. They've had a lot of traffic on the base paths, but both teams have run themselves into a few outs. But Riverton with a golden opportunity right now.
Yeah, bases loaded. You've got to come up with really the ideal situation to strike out. Don't let them put the ball in play. But you have to throw strikes and trust your defense.
And this is a spot that's going to test the mettle of the sophomore Daniel Norris. Bases loaded, 1-run lead, bottom of the 5th inning. As you said, he cannot dance around the strike zone. He's got to throw strikes. He's got to be aggressive, and you have to rely on your defense.
Yeah, best case scenario, ground ball to second or short, turn to double play, but
bases loaded. Norris steps off the rubber. And the pitch misses high.
I would be surprised to see him lay down another bump.
That's 2 fastballs that Norris has missed high on consecutively. It makes me wonder if he's overthrowing a little bit.
Oh, about hit him.
And misses inside. Sand jumps out of the way. If I'm Ryder Sand, I know you want to swing the bat, but you get hit by a pitch, it scores a run just the same. Here's the 2-0. Chopper in front of the plate. Coming in on it. It's the third baseman. They get Sand at first. The run scores. That'll tie the ball game.
Yep, Sand does his job, puts the ball in play, scores a run.
That's as good as a sacrifice for Ryder Sand. Brings Graydon Gillespie to the plate. Now 4 runs batted in for Ryder Sand in this 2-game series before they face off again tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, Stoker made a good decision there, charging the ball from third base. It almost felt like he might go home. It would have been a really close play. Instead, he goes to first base, gets the sure out.
And that's the key on that play. You'd love to get the lead runner at home, of course, but you have to get an out.
Yeah. Something going on out of the Riverton dugout.
That's a couple times now the home plate umpires had to wander over and ask the Riverton Silverwolves dugout to tone down the chirping.
Yeah, these 2 schools have been rivals for a long time in baseball.
That pitch evens the count 1-1. Just the first of 2 games this afternoon. Fly ball left field. Is that going to be fair? No. There's not a lot of room down as the stands extend into the field down there, the third base line. That couldn't have been foul by more than a few inches.
No, yeah, you're right. Not a lot of room down there. That would have been a big hit. He kind of dodges the bullet a little bit there. He's got him now 1-2. See if he can get him to chase a pitch here, get a strikeout, get out of it without giving up any more damage.
If you're Riverton right now, as hard as you've had to work to scratch and claw your way back into this ball game and tie it up, be able to take advantage of this run-scoring opportunity would be huge.
Good job by Gillespie laying off that pitch. Sometimes with 2 strikes, you expand your zone a little bit, so good discipline there at the plate.
Here's the 2-2. Bounced foul. The battle continues between Norris and Gillespie. Here's the 2-2. Another foul ball ripped down the third base line.
Norris doing a pretty good job keeping the ball out of the middle of the plate. He's got 2 strikes on him. He's kind of nibbling the edges.
So after a brief pause, Norris toes the rubber. He's got his back heel on the right-hand side of the pitching mound. Pulls that off-speed pitch, misses outside. Now 3-2, we'll have a payoff pitch with 2 down, bottom of the 5th. Riverton 4, Bingham 4.
Still want to stay away from the middle of the plate. You got first base open.
And into the seats, right into a big group of elementary school kids. Somebody's going to get themselves a souvenir.
You know, that's not something that typically the high school coaches have to worry about, supplying enough balls to...
Yeah. All you have to do is have suckers so the kids will get the foul balls and bring them back, right? There's strike 3.
Really nice inside fastball. Tied him up, struck him out, got out of the inning.
Great work by the sophomore, Daniel Norris. Riverton gets the job done, though. They score a run to tie this ball game up at 4. We head to the 6th. Leading off for Bingham here in the top half of the 6th inning. It's the designated hitter turned pitcher, sophomore Daniel Norris, hoping to help out his own cause. Norris facing McCade Ortiz, also started the game in the field. He was the Silverwolves shortstop to begin this one. Took over for Noah Peasley on the mound in the last inning, as Norris swings over the top of that, strike 1. Strike 2, Norris out in front.
Little change up, working fast, fastball, and that change up with this tempo is a really effective pitch.
Off-speed pitch right down the pipe. Strike 3 looking. Daniel Norris is retired. Brings Bauer Jacobs to the plate.
Ortiz froze over the yacker there.
Just a gorgeous pitch by Ortiz. Norris was looking for something else.
He went fastball, change up, curveball. Another one.
Back to the curveball. Ortiz is carving right now. This is Bauer Jacobs at the plate, hitting .264. Out in front, hits it off the end of the bat. That'll find some grass in front of the left fielder. So a 1-out single from Bauer Jacobs.
Well, I threw 3 straight curveballs. Able to take advantage of that. They did get it out on the end of the bat, but found some grass.
Got just enough to clear the head of the shortstop, Jagger Mozingo. And here's Noah DeVroom. DeVroom 1 for 2 this afternoon, singled and scored back in the 2nd inning. Jacobs fakes the stolen base attempt.
Ortiz had gotten the first strike on both of the first 2 batters. He's falling behind 2-0 here.
Now 2-1 as Ortiz delivers a strike. Bingham 4 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors. Riverton with 4 runs on 6 hits, 1 error. Pickoff attempt back in safely as Jacobs.
Pretty good move there by Ortiz, just about got him.
Yeah, we mentioned that in the last half inning when he took over on the mound. He's got a really quick move. Curveball, throw goes down to second base, and the runner is out! Kempson Peck with a gun down to second. Bauer Jacobs is retired.
Really good throw there by Pack. Great play. Mozingo comes in, short hops it, still able to make the tag.
DeVroom fouls it out of the park.
You know, that play by the shortstop to make that to catch the ball and then make the tag is one of the more underrated plays in baseball. It's not an easy play to make.
Especially when the throw drags you to the shortstop side of the bag.
Yeah, the throw it was a strong throw, but it wasn't necessarily on line, and so he really picked his catcher up there and made a nice play.
2 down, payoff pitch. Again, fouled out of play. We'll do it again.
Yeah, they're going to run out of baseballs there. I don't think they're used to having to supply this many baseballs because, you know, they get a foul ball at home and some kid runs it back and gives it to the kids on the bench. Ooh.
It looks like, yeah, DeVroom gets, I mean, whether he got hit by that pitch or it's ball 4, he makes his way down to first base. No, you might be right, Dave. They might have to break into a closet and break out some batting practice balls.
Yeah, it's you think about those things as a coach who holds bags of balls around all the time.
You've been in charge of a budget. Top of the Bingham lineup, Porter Larson at the plate, left-handed hitter. Larson walked and scored back in the second inning. He tripled and was stranded at third in the fourth. So that Larson triple got over the head of Cohen Allred in left field on a misread, allowing Larson to motor around the bases. Ortiz checks on DeVroom at first, back in safe.
Yeah, he can get another gapper. You might be able to score DeVroom for first because he's going to be running on contact.
Ball gets by Pack. That allows DeVroom to advance to second, so a runner in scoring position.
Sometimes a little thing like that is the difference in a ball game like this. It's so close. You get a guy in scoring position as opposed to being at first base. Now a single can score him.
And that's a tough play by Pack, a pitch in the dirt, probably one that you would hope he could get over in front of and knock down. But either way, now Bingham with runner in scoring position.
You know, these catchers have to be able to adjust because, for example, at Bingham, their pitcher's mound and home plate are turf. And so you get a different skip off of them. Mm-hmm. Same at Quarter Canyon, they're all turf. So
time was called right before that pitch was thrown. It's hit deep. And a catch is made. Oh, it looks like the left fielder, that's Ryder Sand, comes up grabbing his back. He tried to dive and make that catch. The catch was actually made by the center fielder, but I don't think it counts at all. I saw the second base umpire throw his hands up in the air before the pitch was thrown. Dave, I have never seen that.
No, I didn't see what happened. A really nice play in the outfield. Too bad if that doesn't end the inning for him.
Yeah, the catch was made by Gage Zulo. Ryder Sand tried to dive and make the grab. Ends up colliding with Zulo. But yeah, they are going to say the time was called. So we'll redo it. That pitch never happened. If you're Riverton right now, you're happy the Ryder Sand and Gage Zulo didn't come up injured on that play.
Yeah,
that's dangerous.
That would have been a real shame on a play that doesn't even count for somebody to get dinged up. So, fortunately, it looks like they're okay. And
for the life of me, I can't figure out why time was called. But it definitely was. Right before the pitch was thrown, I saw the second base umpire throw his hands up in the air. So back to the plate is Porter Larson. You know what it may have been, Dave? I noticed the runner now is at third. It had to have been a bump.
Maybe that's it.
Line drive, center field. That'll get over the head of Gage Zulo. Extra bases for Porter Larson. He gets the green. He gets the hold, but runs through the stop sign. Save! Porter Larson comes screaming around third base. The stop sign is up, and he says, "Anybody coming? I'm going." Bingham leads 6-4 on a Porter Larson inside the park home run.
Yeah, he hit a bullet right over the head of the center fielder, and he came around. Third base coach threw up the stop sign. Porter might get a ticket for running a red light, but it worked out.
That was almost a carbon copy of the previous triple from Porter Larson, except left field, now it was center field. The outfielder takes 2 steps in, realizes it is a missile straight over their head. And by the time they figure it out, it's too late. The Miners score 2. What a response from Bingham.
Larson put some wood on that one. And that's why they tell you as an outfielder, your first step is always backwards. Because there are a lot of times you can't tell how hard that ball's hit until it's in the air for a second.
And again, we talked about this between breaks, I believe it was. The same thing that happened to Cohen Allred on the Porter Larson triple just happened to Gage Zulo on that inside the park home run. The ball is hit straight at the outfielder, and a lot of times that can be the most difficult ball to read, as Kane Stoker gets hit by a pitch. So McCade Ortiz struggling right now. So Riverton has given up. They came back to tie this ball game, scored 4 straight runs.
Yeah, they had it down to the last strike to get out of this inning, just unable to get off the field. So Bingham coming up with some big hits. That's
a great example of what Region 2 can provide. Riverton second in Region 2, coming in trailing the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. The Bingham Miners third in Region 2. But both programs very much in contention to be a state champion in a few weeks. But we've got a pitching change. McCade Ortiz is out. A new Riverton pitcher. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with the numbers for the new right-hander. In South Jordan, the Bingham Miners have taken a 6-4 lead over the Riverton Silverwolves. A pitching change to tell you about. Taking over on the mound for McKay Ortiz is Caleb Garcia. Garcia came into the game playing second base when Ortiz took over as a pitcher. Now Ortiz goes back to short. Jager Mozingo back to second base. And Garcia on the bump.
Another one of these sophomores that Riverton has playing.
Crew Dredge at the plate. Takes ball 1.
Big lead over first base.
Garcia making his 10th appearance of the year. Got a sub-2 earned run average.
A 2-0 record, so he's been in a lot of games.
Pitch misses just outside. Count goes to 2-1. You know, Dave, as you and I know so well, pitching depth can play such a massive role, especially when you get into state championship week. You get to those Friday and Saturday games as the ball's lifted high to left field. Going all red, makes the catch. That'll retire the side, but not before the damage is done. Bingham strikes. They score 2. We head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Miners in front, 6-4. You're watching UHSAA Baseball on KSLSports.com.
Because now he decides to exercise. Yes, this was the best angle.
Life can get a little messy.
No way. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Best day ever.
Some taps create chaos.
No.
Tap Spend gives you 1% cash back when you spend and 2.75% APY when you don't. Tap responsibly. Visit tapbank.com.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Riverton with their backs up against the wall, trailing Bingham 6-4. Daniel Norris on the mound for the Miners. At the plate, second baseman Jager Mozingo leading off. Mozingo will be followed by Kempson Pack and McCade Ortiz. The Silverwolves have had to work awfully hard to get back in this ballgame after falling behind 4-0. They tie it up in the bottom of the 5th, but Bingham comes right back and answers with a 2-run Porter Larson inside the park home run to regain this 6-4 advantage.
Norris does a good job, comes out and gets ahead.
And strike 3 swinging. Not a strong offering there from Jager Mozingo. It brings Kempson Pack to the plate.
Threw him a couple of breaking balls down in the zone, and then came with a high fastball outside and kind of changed his eye level a little bit. Wasn't able to catch up with that heater.
Yeah, that can be so difficult when you're geared up for the off-speed pitch. Then you get that fastball up above the zone. It looks incredibly juicy right out of the pitcher's hands, but you're just not ready to catch up to it.
Nope. Looks like we got a new hitter, Tate Shields for Riverton. I think they said he's hitting for Pack.
Yeah, Kempson Pack was due up, so Tate Shields. Shields takes ball 1. Daniel Norris pounding the strike zone. Evens the count 1-1. Ground ball back up the middle, fielded by McCade Ortiz. Sorry, that's Porter Larson. Fires across the diamond. 2 quick outs for Riverton. Here's McCade Ortiz. Ortiz tripled and scored. Is 1 for 3 this afternoon. Top of the lineup for the Silverwolves. They've got to get something cooking now or never. So Ortiz takes strike 1 on the outside edge.
Nice breaking ball.
That'll be extra bases for just inside the third base bag. McCade Ortiz, a stand-up double.
Riverton's done a nice job of getting hits and producing with 2 outs. There's been a couple of innings where Bingham's had 2 outs, no base runners, and Riverton's able to put some points on. So we'll see if Bingham can get out of this inning with this 2-run lead.
RBI chance now for Gage Zulo. He's driven in 17 this season. Strike 1, catches the corner. Norris slowing down just a hair with the runner on second. Strike 2.
Zulo didn't like the call. I think that might have been a little bit outside.
So 0-2 now. Gage Zulo's got to protect. Norris Morris checks the runner, the 0-2. Misses high and outside.
See if Norris can go get this out.
And catches the inside corner. Strike 3 looking. Zulo is retired. We'll head to the 7th. Riverton trailing 6-4. You're watching high school baseball on KSLSports.com. Where South Jordan, Utah, the high school baseball series where the Bingham Miners lead the Riverton Silverwolves 6-4 as we head into the 7th inning.
Huge rivalry. These two schools have been going at it for a lot of years. Riverton separated out of Bingham High School, and I don't know when that was, probably before we were born. But they've been playing baseball against each other for a long time. And a lot of these kids play a lot of baseball together in the summer.
Well, and that's the thing. You get schools like this that are so close to each other. You've got players that are related. You've got guys who are friends. They grew up together. They maybe went to elementary or middle school together. Now they're in a different high school. And so that type of familiarity always breeds respect and a rivalry.
Yeah. It's a different situation than when I played at Layton and the guys at Clearfield were our enemies. There was no camaraderie together. There was no...
Sounds like Skyview and Mountain Crest when I was in high school.
Yeah. You're a Mountain Crest or Skyview?
I was Skyview.
You're Skyview.
Yeah,
right.
Baby blue.
Yep.
Much better color scheme. Dane Morphy fouls that ball into the seats.
Yeah, those are some. There was a really great football game up at Utah State, high school championship game between, I think it was Skyview and Mountain Crest back sometime in the late 80s.
Okay.
And they filled Romney Stadium. So yeah, there's some great rivalries up in Cache Valley.
Yeah, now you've got 5 high schools in the valley instead of 3.
No.
So that's going to be ball 4. Dane Morphy draws the leadoff walk. He reaches for the first time today. There's Paxton Larson.
Number 3, Paxton Larson.
Larson's had a nice game. And again, Bingham with the leadoff runner on.
Yeah, to your point, Dave, Larson has reached twice already. He's singled and been hit by a pitch. Struck out swinging in between. That pitch in the dirt, taking off. The runner at first. He'll slide safely. And that's a speed-up runner for Bingham. Taking over for Dane Morphy. Lays down the bunt. Beautiful, beautiful bunt. Absolute perfection. There's nothing the defense can do. Everybody's safe. The Miners have runners at the corners with nobody down.
A really good job of getting that bunt to die. A lot of times you'll get those that'll skip right up to the third baseman, but boy, he just checked that up like a wedge.
So the Miners are threatening again with Jackson Sysom at the plate. Sysom has struck out in his last 2 at-bats. He's nothing for 3 today. Reached on an error and scored back in the 2nd inning. Fouls the first pitch back.
See if Bingham runs on this pitch. Paxton Larson to first base.
Bingham's got an opportunity to add some insurance runs right here. Miners lead 6-4. Single evens the count, 1-1.
Garcia needs to find the strike zone.
Sysom squares around. Gets the bunt down, pushes it back to the pitcher, comes home. Looked like the throw was there in time, but he gets underneath the tag.
No, they got him. They called him out.
Yeah, they did call him out.
It looked like he was safe.
It looked like he got underneath the tag. But he's ruled out at home.
Now batting is the pitcher, number 6, Daniel Norris.
So now runners at first and second for the Miners.
Riverton dodges a bullet a little bit there. That was a pretty good play defensively.
Garcia misses outside. Goes the other way with that ball, gets down in front of Cohen, Allred in left field. That'll score a run. Coming around to score is Paxton Larson, an RBI single for Daniel Norris.
Norris does a nice job on the mound, comes in, helps himself out, picks up an RBI.
Really nice piece of hitting from Daniel Norris, bringing Bauer Jacobs to the plate. Jacobs singled back in the 6th inning. Still 2 on for the Miners as they're trying to pull away. First pitch misses outside to Bauer Jacobs. Jacobs 1 for 3 today. Fly ball center field, dying, and a diving grab made by Gage Zulo. Really nice play by Zulo. He was shaded a little bit toward left center. Able to come in and make the grab.
A big time play there again. The ball hits straight at him, and it started to tail as it's into the wind, and lays out, makes a nice play, keeps the runners at first and second.
Not a lot of
that gets by. You've got 2 more scores.
Yeah. There's not a lot of elevation on that ball off of the bat. It's a good play by Zulo to get a read and a nice jump.
It's one of those plays you dream about as a kid, you know. I'm going to catch it on the dive in the stadium.
If it's not bases loaded with 2 outs and you're hitting, we're talking, oh yeah, absolutely. I want to make that, and it's got to be the head first too.
Yeah.
Aura, I believe is what the kids call it. Strike, swinging over the top of that off-speed pitch. Garcia fools him. Counts 1-2, 2 down.
DeVroom's had a nice night as well.
DeVroom's had some very good battles at the plate.
Yeah.
Another foul ball. Bounces off of the facade and just out of the reach of so many expectant children.
So many screams. They scream at the swing, at the bounce off the facade.
Look at the power this man has. Who wants it? Ah, here we go.
He gave it to the cute girl down front. Can't blame him.
We've all fallen prey to that trap.
Yeah.
2-2 count on DeVroom.
Well put.
Another foul ball. Count remains 2-2.
Yeah, he's got him timed up pretty well. DeVrew might get a hit if he keeps throwing fastballs.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Garcia go to a changeup here. Maybe below the zone.
Pops him up.
DeVroom under it, out to right field. Making the call is Ryder Sand. He'll make the catch. So that'll end the top half of the 6th inning. Bingham leads 7-4 as we head to the bottom half of the 7th and Riverton's final 3 outs. Bottom of the 7th inning, the Ballpark at America First Square. Game 1 in today's high school baseball series between the Riverton Silverwolves and the Bingham Miners. Bingham leads 7-4. Game 2 will take place about 3 o'clock this afternoon between the Skyline Golden Eagles and the Viewmont Vikings. But before we get to that, Riverton's got 3 more outs to come up with at least 3 more runs to extend this ball game. The first baseman, Bryce Mountier at the plate.
And Bingham brings in their closer, Porter Larson, who's hit 2 BBs today. And he's coming in to close this one out for the Miners. Or to attempt to, anyway.
Counts 1-1 on Mountier.
Yeah, he's just throwing gas. It's been fastball, fastball, fastball.
He looks the part. He's got a lot of moving levers on that delivery. But yeah, he's bringing the heat. Mountier pops it up center field. Underneath it is Sysom. He makes the grab. 1 up, 1 down.
Yeah, anything in the air to right field or right center, it gets knocked down. That wind's pretty strong and it's cold enough that it's not carrying very far. Of course, Larson hit a BB to the fence in center field, but it didn't really get up in the air.
Yeah, that's the thing, is the balls that have been hit hard today have been hit low. You're not going to get one up into the jet stream and watch it carry. That pitch is line foul.
First breaking ball.
Cohen Allred started the day hitting .333. He's reached all 3 times he's come to the plate. He is 1 for 1 with a hit by pitch and a walk. Takes ball 1 in the dirt.
These kids are really familiar with each other. I'm sure Allred's faced Larson before, and probably 50 times in their lives growing up as neighbors and playing against each other at Super Leagues.
Whether it be games or just in the cage. Bouncer back to Larson. Picks it up, flips it to first, 2 down.
5 pitches, 2 outs. That's what you want out of your closer.
Riverton down to their final out, represented by Rocky Downs. Downs, the designated hitter. He's looking for his first base hit. Walked in his last at-bat, last plate appearance. Larson misses high. Might have been overthrowing that a bit.
Yeah, that one got away a little bit. If we were in Durham, North Carolina, Bull would have mooed.
Downs waves over the top, strike 1. Bingham with 7 runs on 10 hits, 2 errors in the ball game. Riverton with 4 runs on 7 hits, 1 error. Here's the 2-1 to Downs. Fouled out of play. Silverwolves Silverwolves down to their final strike. Here's the pitch. Larson misses outside. Kids Day here at the ballpark. You can hear the screams, the volume level climbs. The payoff pitch. Tapper in front of the plate. Larson gets to it, throws to first. Not in time. Downs is going to be safe. I would imagine he'll get rewarded with a single on that play. It was going to be a really difficult play by Larson.
Yeah, that ball's in no man's land, almost exactly halfway down the baseline. And then not only do you have to field it, but you've got to make the throw around the base runner.
Yeah, that might be the most difficult part of that play, is that the base runner is directly in your line of throw.
Yeah.
Bouncer to short. Up with it, flips to second. They get the lead runner. That'll do it. Bingham secures the win. They pull away. They win 7-4. Evening this 3-game series this week against the Riverton Silverwolves. What'd you see from this one today, Dave?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Porter Larson, player of the game, hit a couple of nukes, line drives to the fence, including the inside the park home run where he ran through the stop sign in the third and scored at home. So good win for Bingham. They need to break that 3-game streak. And, you know, both these teams are legitimate 6A contenders.
Yeah, these are two teams that we're going to hear from again. The 6A high school baseball tournament at BYU Miller Park this year. The 5A tournament will be at Utah Valley, UCCU Ballpark. But that's going to wrap it up for us here in Game 1 of today's high school baseball series. The Bingham Miners improved to 16-8, 11-6 in Region 2 play. The Riverton Silverwolves fall to 17-7, 13-4 in Region 2. I'm Brian Priest. He's Dave Harrison. We'll be back for the nightcap between the Skyline Eagles and the Viewmont Vikings. First pitch at 3 p.m. You're watching high school baseball on KSLSports.com.